Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, I have something unique to review, and it's this. It's a little mini drone. This drone is from the company called Attop, and this is their XPAC 20 model. And this is their drone geared towards beginners like myself. I've never flown a drone, so I thought this actually be quite fun to do. So I'm going to do the usual by doing an unboxing, kind of going over the controller and everything like that, and then take it out to go flying. So other than that, let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go over what comes in the box. The first thing out of the box is the user manual. Then we got the drone controller, and then inside the drone controller, we actually have the drone. There it is. You get 2 batteries for the drones, and these provide about 5 to 6 minutes of flight time, and these batteries take about 45 minutes to charge. You also get a USB charger, and this charger has some built-in indicator lights when you're actually charging a battery. It's red when it's charging, and it's green when it's done. And then this end actually gets plugged into the battery right here. It gets plugged in just like that. You get a phone clamp, and this mounts right onto the remote. You get some propeller blade guards. You get a Phillips head screwdriver. And then also you get a tool that removes the propellers from the drone. The last thing in the box are 2 AAA batteries to power the remote. So that was everything that came in the box. Now I'm going to set up the controller. I already went ahead and put the batteries in the back here. The Phillips head screwdriver they provided are for these 2 screws right here. I hope I don't have to show anybody how to put batteries in a remote, but the first thing I'm going to do is slide this little clear part off, and then I'm going to grab the top of the controller sticks, and you kind of just slide them in there like that. Eventually they'll get stuck. I'm going to do the same for this one here. Maybe. Okay, there we go. So this section right here is actually the storage spot for the drone. So when you're not using it, you can kind of just slide it in here like that. And then you can cover it up with the clear part. And you don't have to really worry about it getting broken or anything like that, or even when you're moving it around. So I'm going to put the clear part back on. And now I'm going to take the phone clamp and slide it into the top right here. Just like that. And then I have a phone to demonstrate what it looks like. So when you put a phone in there, it should look like that. So you got one more thing to do with the remote. You just got to test the power to make sure it's operational. And as you can see, my remote has power. And that is pretty much it to get in the remote ready to be able to fly with the drone. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to set up the drone. So the first thing is you want to pull the drone arms all the way out to the furthest most point, like this. And then you want to take the battery and you want to line up the connection right here to the connection on the drone right there. There's some little groove marks in there. You got to line the battery up, you push it in and then slide it forward. So let me do this like that. Then I'm going to make sure it has power by pushing the power button. And as you can see, it has power. So if this is going to be the first time operating a drone for you, I would suggest using these blade guards, and they're pretty easy to install. You just slide them onto the bottom of the motor like this. You get 4 of them, and you get 1 for each motor. The only thing I would say is once you put them on, just make sure they're flexed out enough so they're not bumping off the propellers, because you do not want them to hit off of it, because they could stop the blade, and depending on where your drone is, it could crash. So that's everything you have to do to set up this drone. Okay, so now I'm going to do a brief little overview of what these buttons do on the remote. And I'm going to start with the power button, which is right here. If I hold it, right now it's powered on. Okay, so this is your automatic launch button or automatic land button. To use this, your drone has to be powered on and paired with the remote. And you got to have it in the position where your blades are spinning. And when you have that, all you got to do is just tap that once and your drone should just take off into the sky. And then to land it, all you got to do is just tap it again and your drone should come gently back down to the ground. So you don't have to use the auto launch button or auto land button. You can do it manually, and I will show how to do that once I take the drone outside and fly it around. So this button has another use as well. It's the emergency stop button. So when you find yourself in a pickle and you're flying around and you don't know what to do or you're losing control, all you got to do is just hold this button down for 3 seconds and it will cut power with the drone, and the drone should just fall wherever it is at that moment. So you got 2 buttons right here, and they're kind of like little flying tricks. So when your drone's up in the air flying around, if you were to hit this button, the drone's going to do a circle. It's going to revolve, and it has like a diameter of like 4 feet, and it will just keep doing circles until you interrupt it by, taking over the controls. And then this button right here is a spin button. The drone will stay in place and just pretty much spin around pretty chaotically, but it's fun to do. Then on this side of the remote, you have your record button, and then you got your camera button. When you're actually paired up with the drone in the app, it actually has a 1080p camera on the front of here, and you can actually have a live feed. You can actually record it or take pictures if you wanted. Okay, so these 2 knobs right here are the main controls of your drone. So the knob over here, if you were to hold it up, the drone's going to fly up into the sky. If you hold it down, it's going to come down to the ground. And then if you hold it to the right, the drone's going to spin to the right. If you hold it to the left, the drone's going to spin to the left. So this control right here controls your drone's movement. So this is going to make it fly forward. This is going to make it fly backwards. This is going to make it fly to the side, fly to the right. And then this is going to make it fly to the left. So this drone has 3 different speed settings, and you can control it by this little button on the top of the remote. I was going to do a quick little demonstration to show what level you're currently in. When I hit this button, the tone will pretty much give an indicator of what it is. Right now it's in level 1, that's level 2, and that's level 3. So the higher the level, the faster your drone will fly. On the other side of the remote, there is a 3D flip button. So when your drone's up in the sky and you're flying forward, if you were to hit that button, it would do a neat little 3D flip. So that's pretty much the basic controls to get you pretty much started flying. So now I'm actually going to show you how to pair your phone up with the camera on the drone. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to connect your phone to your drone's camera. And the first thing is you want to download the app called @TopImage, and you can find it on the Google Play Store or the App Store. It is free, and if you can't find it, there are some QR codes in the user manual where it pretty much takes you directly to it. Once you have this app downloaded onto your phone or tablet or whatever you're using to operate this drone, the next thing is you want to turn on your drone. Then you want to go into your Wi-Fi settings in your device. And then once it starts discovering whatever's out there, you should see one that says like XPAC 20 or something like that. And you want to click on that, and that's pretty much the link from your phone to your drone. Then you can go into the app and then make sure you select the right drone, and then you hit connect. So after you're connected to your drone, the first thing you should be able to see is a live feed of what your drone is viewing at that moment. So in this app, you can actually control a lot of things. You can actually control the drone from it. I wouldn't really recommend it for the first couple times just because it's a little difficult. I would say stay with the remote. The remote's a lot easier. But this is where you'd be able to take pictures and record, and then that actually gets saved right into the app. Okay, so now I think we're at the point where we can take the drone outside and fly it around. Okay, so you can probably tell I'm in my backyard now. So before I start flying the drone, I gotta pair the drone up with the remote. So the first thing is I gotta turn on the drone. Got some blinking lights, that means that's powered on. So I can set this down. Now I can take the remote and hit the power button right here. And you can tell it's not paired by this little indicator light right here. It's flashing. So to pair it up, I gotta do the little process with these controls here. You gotta go up, down, and hold down and in with both of them to pair it up. So up, down and in. And now it's paired, and you can tell by this light is solid. And you can tell by the lights on the drone that are solid as well. Okay, so usually at this point I would test the propellers to make sure they're spinning properly, and all I gotta do is hit up on the controls like this. As you can see, they're spinning, they're not hitting off the bumper guards or anything, they're not hitting off the body of the drone, so I can stop them. So everything's working properly. Okay, so one last thing before I go flying, I'm actually gonna remove these bumper guards because I'm a little more comfortable without them. So I'm just gonna pull these off, just like that. Then I'm just going to do one last check to make sure my arms are pulled out all the way, and then test the propellers. They seem to be working okay, so let's go flying. Okay, so when it comes to flying the drone, I like to take it off manually, and to do that, all you got to do is make sure your blades are spinning, and then all you got to do is just hold up on the controls, and the drone should just take off into the sky. like that. Let me try to control it though. Sorry, I only have one camera at the moment, so I'm just going to use a wide angle thingy on my phone, just try to capture everything. Well, do the best to capture everything. So now I can just fly this around for a while and do little tricks and stuff like that if I wanted. Try not to crash it. And then when I'm done, I can actually land it by using that auto land button, or just pretty much doing the descend until it hits the ground. So you're probably wondering, how do you know when your battery is going to be dead pretty much on your drone? And the remote will actually indicate to you if it's going to be dying soon. It will actually start beeping, and usually you have about like 30 seconds before the drone will automatically land itself. So if it starts beeping at you like that, you want to make sure the drone is pretty much close to you, because if it's far away, you're going to be walking to get it. I thought the remote was going to start beeping at me soon, but apparently I got more juice in it than I thought. Oh, see, right now it's actually dying on me. So I'm just gonna keep it close to me, and eventually it should just land itself, or I could land it. But I'm just gonna let it do it. So, see? Battery's dead. So that's fun. Yeah, you get only about 5 to 6 minutes flying with it. So I actually have the other battery charging at the moment, so I can get that and fly it around if I want to, but I'm actually gonna finish this video up instead. Okay, so now I'm going to give you my thoughts about this drone, and personally, I actually like this drone a lot. At first, I was very hesitant in even doing this review because I've never reviewed a drone before. I'd never even operated a drone before. And the last time I owned a remote control type vehicle is like when I was a kid, and that was like, what, 25 years ago now? So this was all new to me. But after messing around with this drone for the last 2 weeks, I've actually became quite comfortable with flying it around. And now I may even upgrade to a bigger drone. So this drone was actually a very good tool with learning how to operate these things. So if you wanted to pick up one of these drones for yourself or somebody else, you can find it listed on Amazon for around $40. And as of recording this video, they have a coupon that takes 20% off, which would put it around $32, which isn't too bad. And I'll leave all the links down below as usual. So that's going to be it for today's video, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions about this drone, leave them down in the comments and I'll try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. And that's going to be it. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.